UTAG remains the same, that we cannot
will not accept that, and we think that the first MOU should remain untouched. Our original position still stands. Exempting our pension funds from this program is still intact. It does not change.
The Investigators Association of Ghana, UTAG, has shut down any moves for an alternative debt restructuring for their pension funds.
The position of UTAG remains the same, that we cannot be part of this and pension funds should be exempted totally.
Also, updates on the matter involving the conversion of toilet facilities into cubicles for students at the Ghana Senior High School in Tamale. Education think tanks say nothing will come out of a GES probe into the matter as Northern Regional Minister waits into the matter. We'll hear all of that. Plus, Ghana Police Service introduces 2 new interventions for election management, but security analysts say implementation of its strategies will be a challenge.
We said this, that IGP's hands are tied. He can bring all the beautiful policies on paper. One man can just decide that, you know what, I don't need you as the IGP. So what happened to that policy?
We have details of this and more. Stay with us. Thank you for joining us. This morning, Organized Labour is unanimous in their resolve to reject any overtures from the Finance Minister to consider using pension funds of workers in an alternative restructuring program. A statement signed by Ken Foriata on Friday urged the Board of Trustees of Pension Funds to allow for the funds to be included in government's new proposed debt restructuring offer aimed at alleviating the cash constraints on the government in the coming years while fully compensating the pension funds for the value of their current holdings. But this has been roundly rejected by the various groups. Here is Deputy General Secretary of a Trade Union Congress, Joshua Ansah.
If you think that it's still going to affect our pensions, I don't think it will be realistic for us to actually accept that new proposal. If you think that you have seen some options, why don't you call us to the table so that we discuss? Workers will not accept that, and we think that the first MOU should remain untouched.
For you, your position is consistent. You are the mother union.
Our original position still stands. In any case, Organized Labour is meeting to actually make its position known. Exempting our pension funds from this program is still intact. It does not change.
Deputy General Secretary of a Trades Union Congress, Joshua Ansah. For the Investigators Association of Ghana, UTAG, government's lack of engagement over the proposed alternative domestic debt exchange program is one of the reasons they will reject it. Here's Professor Solomon Nuno, he's president of UTAG.
It's important to look for alternate ways than to consider using the pension funds of Ghanaian workers. That we find to be appalling and not acceptable. The finance minister is saying that there's not going to be any second round of debt exchange. Then it means the document flying around. Then it means all of them is null and void. But for so long as the fund managers have been invited, the position of UTAG remains the same, that we cannot be part of this and pension funds should be exempted totally.
Professor Solomon Nuno is president of UTAG. Let's stay on matters relating to the economy a while longer because consumers will be paying more for goods and services when the 3 newly introduced taxes by government kick in. This is because President Akufo-Addo has assented to the 3 bills into law, though an implementation date for what has been themed as controversial laws has not been determined. The chorus among businesses is hardship and job cuts. Listen to Chief Executive Officer of the Ghana National Chamber of Commerce and Industry, Mark Bedu-Abuachi.
It may be difficult for the government to get a 4 billion. If you take, for instance, the growth and sustainability levy, it's 5% of gross profit. The businesses are not making profit, so what are you going to tax? It's not only the concern of businesses with this particular tax. Those who are seeking to get employment are going to be affected because businesses will collapse and will not be able to employ. Those who are already working will be laid off. So businesses are also going through a number of, and the consumer, you're also going to suffer because they're going to pay more in terms of prices because we cannot absorb.
Chief Executive Officer of the Ghana National Chamber of Commerce and Industry, Mark Bedu-Abuachi. Time now for updates on the matter involving the conversion of toilet cubicles into dormitories for students at the Ghana Senior High School in Tamale. Education think tanks say nothing will come out of the Ghana Education Service probe due to interference and the involvement of a Northern Regional Minister, Alhaji Al-Hassan Shani Shaibu, who has described the viral video showing some students of the school using the toilet cubicles as dormitories as staged.
For somebody to say that students are using them as dormitories could not be true. It's unfounded because the space in between those cubicles cannot even permit a bed or a mattress to be laid, let alone to be used as a dormitory. But there were other positive things that the reporter could have reported on.
You heard the Northern Regional Minister. Meanwhile, Management and Old Students Association of Ghana Senior High School have denied any wrongdoing. Here is Saibu Hussein, his senior housemaster.
They don't report to school early because some of them, they are from far places. So they keep the troubles in those here cubicles, which were meant for toilet but never been in use since the school was established. I've been here for 14 years. I've never seen the place being used.
Well, for Executive Director of Institute for Education Studies, Dr. Peter Pate Anti, the interference of a regional minister means the Ghana Education Service investigation is dead on arrival.
I wish that we would have allowed the investigations to go on. I see that people want to turn this into a political something, clear their names, because if anybody should talk, it should be the regional education director, not the regional minister. What is his locus? So right now that he has spoken, everything is now going to be brushed under the carpet and then we move on. I don't think that we have to deal with our problems that way. We should confront our challenges, accept it, and find ways and means to solve it, because all these environments that we are using to train our students, they form part of their development process. And this is not the kind of environment you want your ward to study in.
Executive Director of Institute for Education Studies, Dr. Peter Pate Antiwell, Member of Parliament for Tamale South, Haruna Idrisu, has also been speaking about the subject. He says he is looking forward to the Ghana Education Services investigation and the findings thereafter. But he says while keenly awaiting the report from the Education Service, the GES itself and the Ghana Education Trust Fund, GET Fund, must take a comprehensive view of infrastructure requirements and the complementary facilities needed to support effective teaching and learning in schools. He says he will be visiting the school as an MP for Tamale constituency to ascertain things for himself. Away from that, the Ghana Police Service has introduced 2 strategic interventions to handle election and politically related incidents as part of a police transformation agenda. This was disclosed when the service top rank met with leadership of the New Patriotic Party and the National Democratic Congress at the police headquarters in Accra. The establishment of a Police Election Security Secretariat is the first intervention to work with all political parties and other stakeholders to enhance the management of security for all elections in the country. This, the service describes as a complete departure from the old order where an election security task force was put together just some months before the general election. Security analyst Emmanuel Coating says it is a move in the right direction. However, he doubts the implementation.
IGP's hands are tied. He can bring all the beautiful policies on paper. One man can just decide that, you know what, I don't need you as the IGP. So what happened to that policy? Good as it may sound, implementations of such policies are always the challenges, because this task force has been put together over a year now. What activities around this task force has the police made the general public as stakeholders to know until now? So we don't run security in secrecy.
Security analyst Emmanuel Coating there. Let's also stay with the police because Member of Parliament for Nkranza South, Emmanuel Ejekum, has described as fabricated details of a police investigation into the killing of 28-year-old Albert Donko in May last year. The police on Friday briefed the family of a deceased about their probe, which also revealed that the resident Victor Owusu, who died during riots by some irate youth over the killing of Albert Donko, did not die from gunshots. But family of a deceased have discredited the police's report and are demanding a copy of a said report. Here is MP from Nkranza South, Emmanuel Ejekum.
In fact, the family, we don't have a report. We don't have a copy of the report. They think nobody is smart, but they are not smart enough. We've conducted an autopsy. We know the type of gun that was used to shoot the boy. We know the position where he was shot. We have all these clues. Where are the policemen who took him there? Who is the commander who was commanding them? Who opened a fire on the boy? What are they basing their report on? Okay. We will not leave them. And let me tell you, if it takes us for them to take us out of Ghana, we will pursue this case for the next 5,000 years.
You heard there in Kranza South MP Manuel Ejekum, and just before we go, the Anti-Human Smuggling and Trafficking Units of the Ghana Immigration Service has secured a 15-year conviction for a trafficker. The trafficker was found guilty on counts of trafficking girls into Ghana to be engaged in prostitution. Comptroller General of the Immigration Service, Kwame Siatechi, who disclosed this at the launch of a migrant support service by Caritas in Accra, says the service has been investigating and prosecuting cases of human trafficking. If you log on to 3news.com, you find a lot more stories there. I am Komla Adom. Have a good morning.